1. Year. 2. Month. 3. Week. 4. Day. 5. Weekend. 6. Morning. 7. Afternoon. 8. Evening. 9. Night. 'How often?' Listen to the model.
How often does your boyfriend call you? He calls me every night.
Do exercises 1 through 9. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
How often do you use your computer?
I use it every day.
2.
How often do you write to your son?
I write to him every week.
3.
How often do you clean your windows?
I clean them every month.
4.
How often do you visit your aunt in Minnesota?
I visit her every year.
5.
How often do you wash your car?
I wash it every weekend.
6.
How often do your grandchildren call you?
They call us every Sunday.
7.
How often does your boss say hello to you?
She says hello to me every morning.
8.
How often do you feed the animals?
I feed them every afternoon.
9.
How often do you think about me?
I think about you all the time.
She usually studies in the library. Listen to the model.
Does Carmen usually study in her room? No, she rarely studies in her room. She usually studies in the library.
Do exercises 1 through 6. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
Does Linda usually eat lunch in her office?
No, she rarely eats lunch in her office. She usually eats lunch in the cafeteria.
2.
Does Alan always watch the news after dinner?
No, he never watches the news after dinner. He always watches game shows.
3.
Does Diane sometimes read the National Star?
No, she never reads the National Star. She sometimes reads Time magazine.
4.
Does Henry usually wash his car on Sunday?
No, he rarely washes his car on Sunday. He usually washes his car on Saturday.
5.
Does your girlfriend usually jog in the evening?
No, she sometimes jogs in the evening. She usually jogs in the afternoon.
6.
Does your neighbor's dog always bark during the day?
No, it never barks during the day. It always barks at night.
He always calls, I usually write. We sometimes dance, we never fight, because we're side by side.
How often does your boyfriend call you?
He calls me every night. How often do you talk to your brother in college?
I talk to him every Sunday.
My sister is in college, too. I talk to her every Saturday.
Do you speak to your grandparents very often?
Yes, I call them every weekend.
My grandparents call us every Friday night.
There's the phone.
I'll get it. Hello? Oh, hi, Uncle George. It's my Uncle George. How are you? It's so good to hear from you. How's Aunt Sally? That's good. Please say hello to her from me.
We're the telephone company. We bring people closer together.
When do you watch TV?
I always watch TV in the evening.
I usually watch TV in the morning. I sometimes watch TV late at night.
I rarely watch TV.
I never watch TV.
Do you ever watch TV while you eat?
Always. Usually.
Sometimes.
Rarely.
Never.
Does Carmen usually study in her room?
No, she rarely studies in her room. She usually studies in the library.
Do you sing in the shower?
No, I never sing in the shower.
Sing in the shower? Well, sometimes.
I always sing in the shower. I sing opera. La 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 la.
Who washes the dishes in your household?
I usually wash the dishes. Sometimes my wife washes the dishes, but usually it's me.
My husband and I always do the dishes together. He rarely washes the dishes. I usually wash them and he dries them. We're a good team.
I never wash the dishes. My roommate always washes them. I do all the cooking. It's a good arrangement. He cleans, I cook.
Do you snore when you sleep?
Rarely.
Snore? No, never.
Sometimes, I guess.
Yes, I usually snore.
I never snore, but my husband always snores. Sometimes it doesn't bother me at all, and sometimes it drives me crazy.
I always get to work on time. I'm usually here by 8. I sometimes get here early. I never get here late. No, I never get here late.
He always gets to work on time. He's usually here by 8. He sometimes gets here early. He rarely gets here late.
No, I never get here late.
Right, he never gets here late.
Dad has brown eyes, Mom's are blue. He looks like me.
We have noisy neighbors. Listen to the model.
Do you have quiet neighbors?
No, we have noisy neighbors.
Do exercises 1 through 8. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
Do you have a sister?
No, I have a brother.
2.
Does this store have an elevator?
No, it has an escalator.
3.
Does your daughter have straight hair?
No, she has curly hair.
4.
Does your son have brown hair?
No, he has blonde hair.
5.
Do you and your husband have a dog? No, we have a cat.
6.
Does your baby boy have blue eyes?
No, he has brown eyes.
7.
Do Mr. and Mrs. Hill have a satellite dish?
No, they have an old TV antenna.
8.
Does your grandmother have a car?
No, she has a motorcycle.
How to say it. Reacting to information. Listen.
Tell me about your sister. She's a journalist. She lives in London. Oh, really? That's interesting.
On your own. Very different. Listen.
My brother and I look very different. I have brown eyes, and he has blue eyes. We both have brown hair, but I have short curly hair, and he has long straight hair. I'm tall and thin. He's short and heavy. As you can see, I don't look like my brother. We look very different.
My sister and I are very different. I'm a teacher. She's a journalist. I live in Miami. She lives in London. I have a large house in the suburbs. She has a small apartment in the city. I'm married. She's single. I play golf. She plays tennis. I play the piano. She doesn't play a musical instrument. On the weekend, I usually watch videos and rarely go out. She never watches videos and always goes to parties. As you can see, we're very different, but we're sisters and we're friends.
Moms are blue, he looks like me, she looks like you. Our family's side by side.
Do you have a dog?
No, I have a cat.
Do you have quiet neighbors?
No, we have noisy neighbors.
Well, doctor, do I have a problem with my heart?
Yes, you have a very unusual heartbeat.
Oh, my.
Do your parents have a new car?
No. They have a very old car.
Does your son have a musical instrument?
Yes, he has an electric guitar.
He has great musical talent. Don't you think so?
Oh, yes, he does.
Definitely.
Does your daughter have a car?
No, she has a motorcycle.
Does your apartment have cockroaches?
No, it has mice.
My sister and I look very different. I have blue eyes, and she has brown eyes.
I have short hair, and she has long hair.
I'm tall.
And I'm short.
As you can see, I don't look like my sister. We look very different. I have a house, and she has an apartment.
She has a cat, and I have a dog.
We both have musical instruments. I have a piano, and she has a guitar.
She has a car, and I have a bicycle.
I have a black and white TV, and she has a color TV.
She has a lot of friends, and I have just one or two.
As you can see, we're very different. But we're sisters, and we're friends.
No one's angry, no.
Close friends. Listen. My husband and I are very lucky. We have many close friends in this city, and they're all interesting people. Our friend Greta is an actress. We see her when she isn't making a movie in Hollywood. When we get together with her, she always tells us about her life in Hollywood as a movie star. Greta is a very close friend. We like her very much. Our friend Dan is a scientist. We see him when he isn't busy in his laboratory. When we get together with him, he always tells us about his new experiments. Dan is a very close friend. We like him very much. Our friends Bob and Carol are famous television news reporters. We see them when they aren't traveling around the world. When we get together with them, they always tell us about their conversations with presidents and prime ministers. Bob and Carol are very close friends. We like them very much. Unfortunately, we don't see Greta, Dan, Bob, or Carol very often. In fact, we rarely see them because they're usually so busy. But we think about them all the time. Listening. Listen to the conversations. Who and what are they talking about? 1.
How often do you visit him?
I visit him every week.
2.
How often do you wash them?
I wash them every year.
3.
Do you write to her very often?
I write to her every month.
4.
Is it broken?
Yes, I'm fixing it now.
5.
How often do you see them?
I see them every day.
6.
How often do you use it?
I use it all the time.
7.
When does he wash it?
He washes it every Sunday.
8.
Do you see him very often?
No, I rarely see him.
9.
Do you study with them very often?
Yes, I study with them all the time.
Pronunciation. Deleted H. Listen, then say it.
I visit her every year. I write to him every week. We see her very often. She calls him every month.
Say it, then listen.
I visit him every year. I write to her every week. We see him very often. He calls her every month.